Welcome to The Explainer. Let's just jump right in today, because we are unpacking a really fascinating framework called Producing Peace. It's by the Nigerian writer and policy influencer Oyomi Oladavid. And honestly, what drew me to her work is how she completely flips our standard understanding of harmony on its head. Instead of treating peace like some abstract philosophical concept, she frames it as a tangible, absolute economic necessity. It's a game changer. So let's walk through her concepts step by step and see exactly how she builds this argument.
I mean, just look at that question. In a chaotic world, how do you consume peace? It really hooks you, doesn't it? Because normally we talk about harmony in these very sentimental, almost passive ways. But she bypasses all of that. She approaches our deep human need for stability through a highly structured economic lens. By using that specific word, consume, she entirely shifts our mindset. We aren't just sitting around hoping for peace to fall from the sky, we are actively seeking it out in the marketplace of our daily lives.
To figure out how we consume peace, she first establishes the baseline of our market. Notice the conditions we navigate every single day: chaotic disorder, human insecurities, sensational media tales, and socio-political uncertainties. She frames these not just as, the daily bad news, but as the turbulent market environment we all currently live and operate in. This is our baseline. It's the deficit that actually creates the demand in the first place.
Okay, let's dive into this, because this brings us to the absolute core of her entire argument. She defines peace as a value-adding commodity that rational economic agents desperately seek to consume to maximize satisfaction. That is a powerful shift in language right there. She views you and me not just as passive citizens, but as active, calculating, rational economic agents. Basically, just like we meticulously budget for food or housing or any other essential good, she argues that we calculate and seek out peace to maximize our personal satisfaction. It's a commodity, and it adds tangible value to our lives.
So, once we understand peace as a commodity, the next logical question is, well, how do we actually get it? Because human behavior is dynamic and incredibly complex, she notes that there isn't just one single way to acquire it. We all use differing vehicles to chase down this inner peace. We literally all have the exact same fundamental demand, but our methods of supply look vastly different depending on who we are.
And that brings us to the first duality she observes in how we source this commodity. Think about it. One rational agent might find their inner satisfaction by leaning heavily into popular culture. They find comfort and peace in mainstream trends in shared cultural moments. Meanwhile, another agent finds that exact same peace by taking the road less traveled, seeking isolation, or intentionally going against the grain. And what's great is that neither vehicle is presented as right or wrong. She impartially shows they are simply different methods of consumption for the exact same human need.
Which actually makes me wonder, which side of this do you relate to? Because when it comes to silence versus noise, she observes that some of us consume our peace through complete and utter quiet, right? Silence is our supplier. But then others actually require the chaotic energy of a crowd or a bustling city just to feel centered. On the surface, it seems totally contradictory, but in her economic framework, it makes perfect sense. Different agents just demand different product variations to achieve their maximum satisfaction.
Here is her final individual-level contrast. For some people, the vehicle to peace requires a literal physical change of territorial location, packing up, moving to a new city or a new country, getting that fresh start. But for others, their counterpart might find complete satisfaction simply coasting in familiar terrains, putting down deep roots and finding comfort in what they know. Whether you relocate or stay put, she observes that both are perfectly valid economic vehicles for sourcing this vital commodity.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because now we need to scale this concept up. We've looked at the individual's pursuit of inner peace, sure, but how do entire societies attempt to secure structural peace? Well, this brings us to the broader marketplace of society, the pursuit of good governance. And just as individuals have differing vehicles, so do massive political crowds.
When looking at our collective political vehicles, she identifies two completely distinct crowds striving for sustainable progress. On one side, you have what she calls the electoral crowd. They favor a complete change of government. Swapping out the leaders entirely is the antidote to whatever the prevailing conditions are. On the other side is the brilliant crowd. They believe the best vehicle is fundamentally reforming and rebuilding our existing institutions. She neutrally outlines these as the differing methods that groups use to try and secure a peaceful society.
And this beautifully ties her micro and macro points together.
As she observes, wherever we stand, it can be soothing to know we can all work for peace, truth, and social justice in order to build resilient and sustainable economies. It perfectly demonstrates that regardless of the specific vehicle you've chosen, whether you favor silence or noise, entirely new governments or reformed institutions, her ultimate goal, and ours, is collective resilience. We are all striving for the exact same end product in the market. So the crucial point is this: producing unfeigned peace, peace that's actually laced with truth and justice, isn't just some nice utopian idea. In her framework, it is the absolute fundamental requirement for global sustainable development across 3 specific dimensions: social, economic, and environmental. You literally cannot build a thriving economy, a healthy environment, or a functional society without first securing peace as that foundational commodity. It's the fuel for the machinery of everything else.
And this is exactly where her framework lands. It scales all the way up from the individual seeking silence or noise, to the society seeking good governance, to the entire globe. She casts every single one of us as essential village partners in development. We aren't just isolated consumers operating in a vacuum. We are vital partners in this grand unifying global project of producing and maintaining peace.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought based on Oluyomi Oladevid's incredible framework. As a village partner in development, how are you producing peace in your own chaotic economy? Are you just consuming it when you can find it, or are you actively manufacturing it for yourself and the people around you? It's a lot to chew on. Take some time to reflect on your own role in generating and consuming this essential commodity. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep questioning the world around you.